Hello, and welcome to another edition of Delta Media Group's Tech Tuesday. So today, we are going to get into another aspect of Google Sync. We went over Google Sync with groups last week, which, by the way, groups in Google are labels. So when you set a label to customers on the Google side, that will put them in a group on the Delta side when you have those synced up. So anyway, that's how those work. So now we're going to get into the next aspect of Google Sync, which is going to be the calendar system. So this is something we just recently added. As always, if you see any issues, let us know. But without further ado, let's go into the DeltaNet and take a look at it. So first of all, we'll take a look at the calendar itself. Man, falling apart this morning. So the calendar itself has been in here for a while, but we've added a variety of new features to it. Things like recurring events and multi-day events, and really cleaned the whole thing up so that so you can do more with it, so it works more like the calendar systems that you're used to. So in order to get to it, I can go down here to, and you'll be able to see all your calendar events right here on the welcome page in that widget. But if I go down to leads and contacts and calendar, this takes me into the point where I can create calendar events. So from here, we have our calendar over here on the left. We can hit this button to create a new event, but we also have our create a new event interface over here already. And if I click on any of these days, it will show me the events that are scheduled for that particular day. So June 26th, the day I have selected, there are no events. But I could go through this list and click on them, and it would show me the events scheduled for those days. Right now on this account, there aren't any, so there's nothing much to look at. Now the next thing you can do is you can create additional calendars, which is similar to functionality you'll see in like Outlook or Google. You can go in and have different calendars that pertain to different things. So to do that, I would just click on Add New Calendar and follow the process there to create my new calendar. Just give it a name, then it'll be selectable, and then I can add events to that calendar. So for now, we'll just stick with the default calendar, and we'll go ahead and create an event. So I'll click on Date and Time. I can make it an all-day event if I want. In this case, I'm just going to say, we'll do 4th of July, why not? 4th of July is coming up, so starting on and ending on the 4th of July. And let's start it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so 2 p.m., and we'll run it until 6 p.m. It's more than enough time that I need to have fun at a 4th of July party these days. I'm getting old, man. All right, when we click Apply, so there we are. Now you can see July 4th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. I can set it to repeat however I want, which would be kind of strange for a 4th of July event unless I do yearly. Let's do every year. So every year, every 1 year, and you can see how we can really get into this system. It's not June, it's July. July 4th, running indefinitely. Big 4th of July party. This is the best party. That ends at 6 p.m., so you know it was a really rousing affair, right? So, once you get your event information all filled out, we just click Save, and that enters our event. So now we've added an event to the calendar system, and you can look through all these different options here. You know, you've got different methods of repetition. There are a lot of different options in here. And we kind of modeled it after the idea of an Outlook or a Google Calendar, so that you can really have a robust functional calendar in here that you can use for everything. So now that our event's created, I'll go ahead and click on July 4th, and you can see that it shows up down here in my list, and I can edit or delete it from here. But now, let's say that in addition to having this in the DeltaNet, I want events that I create here to show up on my Google Calendar. So I can go down here to Google, click on Google Calendar. It'll give me the option to activate the calendar. Now in this case, it attached to the account that I'm signed into with Google. If I wasn't already signed into a Google account, then it would take me to the login page. I would log into my Google account. I would just click on Allow to allow the permissions we need to make the calendar work, and that would put the calendar in here. And we'll go ahead and enable calendar sync. So now the calendar is in the DeltaNet, and we've created all the events we can do in there, and we've also synced it to our Google Calendar, and that's all there is to it as far as the sync goes. Now that we've enabled the calendar sync, any event that I create on my Google Calendar should pop up in here in the DeltaNet automatically, and anything that I create through the DeltaNet should also pop up on the Google Calendar automatically. And if I click on Manage Calendar, that takes me over to where I can create the events in the DeltaNet. And now, I go ahead to Google Calendar. We're probably not going to see it. I don't think it would have synced right away. If I can pass all the months there. Yep. It's not in there quite yet, but once everything's all synced up between the two calendars, it should show up one side to the other here pretty quickly. So any event that I create here in my Google Calendar will just pop up automatically in my DeltaNet calendar and vice versa. All right, so that is pretty much all there is to it, to Google Calendar Sync. So as always, thanks a lot for joining me this week. If you have any questions, concerns, any comments on this video or any suggestions for future videos, anything like that, feel free to send an email into support@deltagroup.com or give us a call or comment on the video. And then like and subscribe if you want to see any notifications of these videos in the future. So thanks a lot for joining me, and I will see you next week.